Assalamu alaikum guys, Irfan back again with another video, and this time we are going to be looking at the graphing capabilities built into Excel and use the graphs in Excel to create a graph that looks like a speedometer. Now if you remember, the first video I did was the first video in Excel series, Microsoft Excel series, was the introduction to pivot tables. So we are going to, and we in that video we had a the data that we used was of an employee of a company with a list of employees, their designations and their salaries. We are going to be using the same file and using that data to create a graph that sort of looks like a speedometer. Now, as you know, in this speedometer you have divisions for each speed, or what, if you will. Now we're going to use the same concept over here. If you see here, these are the 9 employees. So what we need to do is have each portion of the speedometer as as a portion of what salary they're going to be drawing. So let me just do it over here, and it will become more clear. So let's see, salary level 1, and then salary level 2. Now I need to go down all the way down to salary level 9. Now it's going to be pretty tiresome if I need to be typing that in and changing the numbers at the end. Now Excel is pretty smart. If you if you want to fill a column with numbers, what you can do is a series of numbers. What you can do is put 1 and 2 and you highlight all of them, and this box in the corner, you just drag it down and fills in like that. So Excel is pretty smart to realize when you have data like this, sort of looks like this. It's smart enough to realize that all you're doing is just changing the last digit. So if you pull it down, it's going to do that for you. There you go. So salary level 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 9, and then you have the max. Now let's assume the maximum is the highest paid fellow in this company is billed at 37,500. So let's just make this the maximum salary as 40,000. Now each level is going to be equal in size, so to speak. So let me just put this here a bit. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide that. Since we have 9 levels, we're going to divide this into 9. Oh, not into, but divided by 9. Now if I were to pull this down, see what happens. It changes. Why does it change? Because this is T11, which is this cell here, divided by 9. Since I pull this down, what it does is it moves that down too. So it makes it T12 divided by 9, and the next one T13 divided by 9, and T14 divided by 9. So what I need to do is this T11, I need it to not change. Now the way I can do this is put dollar signs in front of the T and the 11, but there's a faster way to do this is just click on a single click and press F4, and Excel will put the dollar signs for you. Now what that does is it locks the T11 as it is. That will not change. So when I pull this down, so it stays as T11 divided by 9. So you see how all of them are equal, 4,444. Now we'll come back to why I need this. Let's see the employee that we will be looking at, the employee that will be designated by the needle on the speedometer. Let's do that over here. So let's make another table here. Let's call it pointer data. Now what I need to do is I need to put the employee's name here and the salary here, but let's have Excel do that for us. Now it's going to be pretty tiresome for me to keep typing the name of the employee over here. So what what would be awesome is if I can have a drop-down list from which I can select which of these employees I'm talking about. So Excel lets you create that too. So go to data and data validation. Now it says settings, allow any value. Let's pull this down and say no, I want these values to come from a list, and I don't want any blanks, and I don't want to ignore any blanks. And the source of this list is that where the data that's going to be filling to this list or populating this list is sitting right here, and you click on OK. Now if you see what did it created a drop down list for you. Okay, so when you oops, hang on. There you go. Okay. Okay, I know what I'm doing wrong. Should not be doing this. I want it clear. Yeah, it's down here. So you see, you have all the list of employees showing up here now. Now, if I say, for example, I select Todd, the salary should be entered here. Now, two ways to do that. I can manually say, okay, Todd makes 24,200, type it in here. But there's a faster way to do that. We can have Excel look up the salary of whichever employee is selected over here from this table up here. The way to do that is to use a formula called VLOOKUP. So you type VLOOKUP. Now Excel tells you what this is. It looks up for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns the value in the same row of a column you specify. Meaning what it is looks up for the value in the leftmost column. So this would be the table, the leftmost column. This would be table. The leftmost column would be this guy here. Looks up for a value. This would be the value that's looking up in this table in the leftmost column, and then returns a value in the same row in the column that you specify, column 1, column 2, column 3, whichever column you want. So let's see. Lookup. The lookup value is this guy here, comma, table array. This is the table that we want this value, the salary to come from, and the next option is the column index. This is column 1, column 2, column 3. So put column 3, and then the option is true, means an approximate match, and false is exact match. So we're actually looking for an exact match. So I'm going to put false. Enter. So see how Todd it pulled up 24,200. That's exactly how much it makes. So let's select a different employee and let's see if it still works. Let's select Joe and let's see if it comes up as 37,000 or not. So if I pull down and select Joe, 37,100. So yeah, it is working. So the next item that we're going to have in this pointer data table is the needle. Now since the salaries are in thousands, so in order to the needle to be, to at least look good, let's make it at least, a value of 1,000. Now, the last point is, I'm going to put a formula here, and then I'm going to explain later on why I did that. The formula is all of this minus the sum of all this. So it's the sum of this guy here minus the sum of these two values. That's showing up as 42,000. Okay. Now I'll come back and tell you why I selected that the way it is. Now let's go ahead and first start doing our chart. So I'm going to go to insert charts, and I'm going to do a donut chart. Just going to move this up here and make it a little bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, Now I'm going to click on select data because I'm start putting some data into this graph here. Add series. The series name is salary, and the values that it is getting is this guy here. Now you'll see why I had selected did a sum of this. This actually, if you can also have it as a sum. Now, well, this is a sum because these were actually this divided by 9. So this is exactly the same. So if you add them up, these 9 of them, they total 40,000, and this is 40,000. Now this portion here is max, and this is each of these salary levels. So you see how this is one half, and that's all these 9 levels is the second half. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to have this box, this this portion here, move here. So if you look at angles and degrees, this is 0 degrees, that's 90, that's 180, that's 270. So we need to rotate this by 270 in order to bring this down here. So right click, format data series, angle of the first slice, and you type in 270. Okay. Now this portion here, we need to make that smaller, so these actually get pulled in. So let's make this, reduce that to 30, and there you go. See how this became smaller and these became longer. Now the next step is these are the salary ranges. I'm just going to the salary levels, salary level 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up to 9. This is the max, and we don't need that to show. So in order to make that go away, to disappear, what we'll do is we'll do a trick. We'll do a right click, format data point, go into the color option, fill, and no fill. So basically what we told Excel was to do was not to fill it with any color at all, thereby just making it disappear. I don't need the legend showing up either, so I'm just going to click on that and delete. I don't need that showing up. So we have got the speedometer constructed now. The next thing that we need to do is actually have the needle show up at the right place. Now this is a table that is the needle data. What we can do is we are going to insert another graph on top of this, superimpose another graph on top of this, and once I do that, once I process that graph, I'll explain why I did this fancy formula here. Okay. Now the way I do that is click here, and I'm going to go to design, select data, and I'm going to add another series. This series is called the pointed data, and the values it is getting from is these 3 cells here. Click on OK and OK. Now if you see here, what it has done is it has made another donut on top of the existing donut. Now what we need to do is we need to change that from donut to a pie chart. The needle is going to be the smallest slice of the pie. The salary is going to be second sliced, and this is the difference of the sum up, because what it's going to do is, let me just change the type of this graph here, and then you'll be able to see. Okay, let me just go back and show you how I did that. Click on change chart type. These are the two series that you have. You have the salary and you have the pointed data. I'm going to change the pointed data from a donut to a pie chart, and I want the scaling, I need to be independent from the first one. I don't want it to be on the same scale. So I'm going to select secondary axis and click on OK. Now see, this is the pie chart. Now since this is a pie chart, it is sitting on top of the donut. You cannot see the donut anymore. This is the smallest slice of the pie. That's the needle. This portion here is the salary, excuse me, of Joe, And this portion here, that's it needs to be the whatever is left. And the way we do that is we take the whole, which is 80,000, minus the salary, minus this. And that's why we did this like that. Okay. Now, what we need to do is, if you remember, we took the donut and we rotated that by 270. We need to rotate this pi by 270 also, so the needles is at the right spot. So we right click, format series, and we are going to make this at 270. Okay. Now, what we need to do is, because this pie chart is sitting on top of the donut, you cannot see the donut. So we need to only have the needle show and nothing else. The same trick that we did with the second half, the half of the donut to make it disappear, we are going to use the same trick over here. This guy, this blue guy here, we are going to format data point, go into the color option and say no fill. And this guy here, and no fill. There you go. And the needle, oh, by the way, the needle is going to be a nice solid black color. All right. Now, if you see, we are almost done. If you see, Joe makes 37,000. The first slice of the donut, this portion here is 0. This is 4,444. So this starts from 444 all the way up to, let me show you how that works out. 0, the first is 0, and then the second is going to be 0 plus 444, and I'm going to just put this down. So this is 0, 444, 4,444. This starts from 444 all the way up to 8,889, and so on and so forth. So this last slice here is from 35,556 all the way up to 40,000, and Joe actually makes 37,000. So it's somewhere between 35.5 and 40. So that's where the needle is. So pretty accurate. Now let's change the employee. Let's pick up, say for example, Julie, who's making 18,000. Sorry. And let's see how if you know where this needle lands. Boom. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. End of the 4 is at 17,778. So it's just after the fourth one because you're only making 18,000. So the needle seems to be working. Let's look at another employee. Let's look at Terry. Let's see Terry. He makes 36,000. So just after the 35.5, just after that. Now, it's just by the needle, it's hard to tell where it is at. So what we are going to do is, we are going to have put a data label on it. Okay. So single click twice and then right click, and you going to say add data label, and you click on that, and let's make the font a little bigger. Now it's showing us 1,000. Obviously it's showing us 1,000 because this is the needle slice, which is 1,000. But what we're going to do is we're going to change this data label to, instead of showing the value of the needle, it's going to show the value of the salary. So the way you do that, you double click, you highlight, you go here, is equal to this cell here, and then you click on the data label. There you go. Now let's change the employee again. Let's go to Bill, for example, 37,500. Terry, 36,000. Joe, 37,000. Jill, 23,500. Jill makes 23,500, which, let's get rid of this here. 23,000. This just between after the 5th and before the end of the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after the 5th, before the end of the 6th. So it's sitting somewhere in the middle. That's correct. That's exactly where it should be. So guys, this is how you do graph that looks like a speedometer in Excel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Usually I answer within the same day or the next day. Like I said, if you like this video, please kindly give it a thumbs up. Helps helps the video have a higher rating, and that makes the visibility more and helps me out too. And if you like to see more videos like this, please kindly subscribe. Thank you very much and have a great day.